Glad they did because I thought the first season was really interesting.
We got overtime, we got tush push, and automatic first downs.
And playoff seeding change.
Playoffs?
So we have 4 new rule proposals that were thrown out there by 3 teams. Eagles, Packers, and Lions threw these out. Let's start with the one closest to home, and that was the Packers wanting to ban the tush push. And they say, they want to ban a teammate from lining up directly behind the snapper at the time that they receive the snap and allowing you to push them through. I don't know that this gets banned.
It's probably not going to go through, but I like the way they wrote the rule. This has been my issue with it. Don't have a tug-of-war match. Don't allow 2 or 3 people to shove the quarterback from behind. As soon as the running back touches the quarterback, it's a 10-yard flag. Here's the way it's written. No offensive player may immediately at the snap push or throw his body against the teammate who was lined up directly behind the snapper and receive the snap to aid him in an attempt to gain yardage. If you push the quarterback forward on a sneak, it becomes a 10-yard penalty.
Totally good with it. And like you said, I think the language is perfect. Like, the language on how you're banning this is going to be important because that's what people freak out about.
Yeah.
So I think the way they worded it, great. And, Mark Murphy, president of the Packers, American University alumnus, as I discovered yesterday.
Oh, is he above me on the list?
He's not even on the list. No, because he's with the Packers, and he only got 1 Super Bowl for Rodgers in his career. So, no, he's not included. But I think that the language of this is perfect. And the biggest problem is going to be if you're the Eagles or anybody else, you're going to say, here's my counter, and you're going to throw up the 3 sneaks that Josh Allen couldn't get. You go, it's clearly not that easy.
Right. So that's going to need 24 yes votes, but no one thinks that is going to happen. But I'm immediately signing off on that. So 1-for-1 rule change for me.
Next one, Philadelphia. To align the postseason and regular season overtime rules by granting both teams an opportunity to possess the ball regardless of the outcome of the first possession subject to a 15-minute overtime period in the regular season.
I'm cool with it.
I'm in.
Fine with it.
I think they got to have it. I think you got to have.
We're now.
These games are too important to come down to a coin flip.
And the parity is too close.
And I don't like the 10-minute overtime because there are some of these ones where somebody will methodically move the ball down. It's like, all right, well, we have 2.5 minutes left now after that score. Just play a normal quarter.
Yep. I mean, we saw it this year. It was the opener. It was Rams-Detroit. And Detroit got the ball. They ran the ball on every single play.
Yeah, got the clock down, basically ran out the quarter.
On every single play in the overtime they ran it.
2 for 2, in.
Speaking of the Lions, they proposed 2. First one, to eliminate, and this will never get passed, to eliminate an automatic first down as a penalty for defensive holding and illegal contact. No. If you say defensive holding is no longer an automatic first down, you are going to get defensive holding on every 3rd and 15. Every single one. Like, blatant defensive holding.
Here's the only issue I have, and I assume this may be sort of their thought process. I have a big problem with a 5-yard penalty.
Yes.
Picking you up 10 yards automatically.
I do too.
I have a problem with a 5-yard bump saving you from 3rd and 20. It's so my first thought, I understand what you're saying. I have a hard time arguing with what you're saying, but my first thought was I'm in on this. I'm signing off because it's way too penal for the defense.
It's very penal. But so a defensive holding, I would say no. But so let's go back to the Cowboys Niners game, right?
Which ass whipping?
Correct. But remember when Randy Gregory kept getting defensive holding calls at the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd be like, that should not be an automatic first down. Or hands to the face.
Yes.
From a defensive lineman.
Yes.
I don't think that should be an automatic first down. But like a DB who you get beat and you just kind of, you defensively, you hold them on a 3rd and 15, man, you've got to penalize them. Otherwise, they're going to do it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the bigger tweak here, I would like to just see them call it less. I'd like to see them be a little more lenient with some of that and then just increase the yard length to 10 yards on those penalties.
Now, the final one, I have been calling for this for years. The Lions propose that the seeding of the playoff uses regular season records rather than division championships. So, for example, this year, Washington went to Tampa, even though Washington had 2 more wins. You had the Vikings go to the Rams, even though the Vikings were 14-3. We've seen this in years past. The Saints were 11-5, had to go play the 7-9 Seahawks on the road. The Colts had to play. They were 12-4, had to play the 8-8 Chargers on the road. And this would eliminate that.
Here's my counter. They're trying to say your regular season record should matter more than the division. The division, you can get away with playing scrubs, like the Cowboys never capitalized on for years. I'm talking about big playoff wins.
Right.
The Patriots in the AFC East. How is who you match up with in the regular season with your 2 opposite divisions that much different from the luck of your division schedule of strength? You know, it's like, okay, so this year I'm going to get...
Cowboys play the AFC West and NFC North, I think.
Yeah, it's not going to help. That's not going to. They're not going to get any help whatsoever.
But if you played the AFC and NFC South one year,
yeah, that's you know, you got a cakewalk.
Yep.
So now you're going to be rewarded in the playoffs.
I get it.
The division is more permanent in terms of your quality of opponent, I guess.
Yeah, and to me, I think you're getting they're saying like you have to make the division matter, and I'm like, well, the reward for winning the division is the playoff spot.
Yeah,
like you can get into the playoffs out of a bad division.
I don't have a problem with this. I'm fine with signing off on this.
Yeah, I don't have a big problem with it. The only thing that I think will get resistance to it is, all right, well, there's going to be years where the last team outside the playoffs has a better record than the last division winner, and then you're going to start getting a push from people that go like, well, let's get rid of division winners completely, and the NFL's never going to do that. And so if they open up this, then they may open up more people going like, well, it should just be all best record. We should just have it as an open league, and so they may not want to introduce that.
I don't think they'll ever pass this either way, because owners love the idea that, you know, on average, it should be once every 4 years you get to host a playoff game.
Other NFL stories around the league. Was that it for the proposals?
That's it for the proposals.
Okay. Kirk Cousins, Will Levis drawing preliminary trade interest before the draft.
Yep, this is Josina Anderson says that there is interest, or that teams are interested. There are people reaching out asking about the availability of Kirk Cousins and Will Levis, which makes sense. Tennessee's in all likelihood going to take Cam Ward number 1 overall, and then that's going to open up a door to where you could move on from Levis. Cousins, we already know, is in a weird situation in Atlanta where they also want to guarantee his money and not move him. So, but this is a story. When I heard this yesterday, this is where I'm really annoyed.
Guarantee his money and not move him. Just say that out loud. Absorb that for a second.
Yeah, I know. It's bizarre. They've every single second of the Kirk Cousins Atlanta tenure has been bizarre. When I hear that Levis is available, this is what I'm annoyed the Cowboys don't have a 4th-round pick. Because I don't know what Tennessee would take for him. He's a former 2nd-round pick. He's not exactly played out of his mind. It's not like he has this crazy reputation. It's like, oh my gosh, that's a Jimmy Garoppolo who sat on the bench, and now you're willing to give up a 1st-round pick for him. Levis has had his issues at times, but he has so many insane throws on tape that for me, if Dallas is looking for, I need an insurance policy in case Dak starts breaking down sooner. I want to have a lotto ticket here. That's a lotto ticket you spend a 4th round on is Will Levis, not Trey Lance, who couldn't throw a football to save his life. And so this is where one of those times where I'm annoyed, where it's like, I would be fine giving up a 4th round pick for Will Levis.